Famous person. If you're a famous person, how do you go about protecting your reputation? Well, it takes us to this week's case. Involves real people. You may have heard of them. Donald Trump. Well, Donald Trump was upset about a story written in the New York Times. New York Times reported that a woman said that while on an airplane, she was assaulted by Donald Trump and that he groped her. They published that story. Donald Trump, through his lawyers, wrote to the New York Times and said, hey, you need to retract that story and you need to apologize. New York Times wrote back and said, guess what, we're not going to do that. And they argued, basically, reputation is all about what, in fact, is somebody's reputation. In this instance, libel laws are designed to protect somebody's reputation. You have already bragged about non-consensual touching of females, therefore that's well known, and this isn't going to diminish your reputation. More importantly, we felt that this was a newsworthy story, and that's why we published it. Okay, so let's look at the rules that govern libel. Libel basically is a claim that's brought against a newspaper or somebody else who prints a story or basically sends something out over the airs with television or radio and is saying that you did something that is generally looked upon as very disrespectful. And generally they're tarnishing your reputation. And as a result of your reputation going down, you can then bring a claim contending that that story has damaged your reputation and that the story, in order to bring that claim, is false. So first thing you have to do is establish that the story is false, because truth is the ultimate defense to any claim for libel or slander. Difference between libel and slander: libel is printed, slander is spoken. But today, spoken words in the media, such as radio and television, are actually recorded. They can be played back later, so they're considered to be printed. Okay, so when you're bringing a claim for diminution of your reputation, what do you have to show? You, one, have to show that the statement is false. Then when you're dealing with a media outlet, like a newspaper, like a television station, like a radio station, you need to show that they knew the information was false or had reason to know that the information was false. In short, maybe they didn't do good investigative reporting. Next, you have to show, and this is the toughie, you have to show that they acted with reckless disregard for the truth or in an effort to actually malign you, that they acted with malice. They have to show malice, that they wanted to hurt you. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. That is a really high standard, and it's very tough to show. To show that a media outlet was actually acting with malice, you need to basically come up with some kind of hard evidence that shows that they were out to get you, and that when they were out to get you, they were motivated by malice and they acted with malice. Well, this set of rules applies to people who are in the public sector, people who are famous. Different set of rules applies to people who are not considered to be public figures. So if you're not a famous person, what do you have to do to show malice? Well, you basically have to show that it's untrue and that it was published notwithstanding the fact that they knew it was untrue. You don't have to show malice. So there's a different standard. That's right, there's a different standard. There's a different standard for people who are famous and a different standard for people who are not famous. People who are considered to be public figures must show malice. People who are not public figures don't need to show malice. That's why generally you rarely see any claim for libel or slander brought by a public figure. Why? Because it's almost impossible to show malice. Hey, we bring you this case, we bring cases every week so you understand how the law works. I'm David Allen.